What's up, Dream Warriors? Welcome back to another episode of a podcast on Elm Street. I'm Marc.
And I'm Brooke.
And this is our last episode of April and our second episode in our Villain Faceoff, our 8th one. Yep. I feel like we've done so many more of these.
Well, that was kind of our thing for season 3.
No, I feel like we've done more than 8, like over the course of our podcast.
I know. I think season 2 we only did like
one
maybe.
But I guess each one is 2 episodes, so maybe that's why it feels like we've done more.
Yeah, that's fair.
But anyways, following up our first half of the Villain Face-Off, we where we did See No Evil. Sorry, I had a brain fart. But yeah, the second part we are going to be talking about Hatchet from 2006.
Wow, I didn't even realize.
I was going to ask you if you planned that out because they both came in the same year, but
no.
2 very different movies visually, but also both of them encompass what like the mid 2000s horror was.
Yeah. I think I would say more so See No Evil.
For sure. But yeah. Before we hop into this movie, what have you been up to this week?
This week, watched not too much. I watched for the first time A League of Their Own. Finally watched it.
Can't believe that was the first time.
I know.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, it wasn't like my favorite sports movie or baseball movie, but yeah, I thought it was decent. Anything Gina Davis is in, I think, is good. So, I rewatched The Batman.
Nice.
I've been like watching it over a course of like 2 weeks because it's like 3 hours long. So I watched like the final hour today, and still just as good, man. Nice. That score is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
As for this isn't really a horror movie, but I watched for the first time 12 Monkeys.
Nice.
I thought it was okay. I think I need to watch it again though, because like I think it's probably one of the best like time loop travel movies.
Yeah.
Like I didn't find myself confused at all during it. Like I think I understood most of what was happening. So I think I just need to rewatch it, just kind of like pick up on the other things and stuff like that. But yeah, I thought it was okay. I think Brad Pitt was amazing in it. He played this like crazy ass dude. And then for horror movies, I watched a movie that's new on Shudder called The Cellar. I actually really liked it. Didn't get the greatest reviews, at least on Letterboxd. I'm not too sure about the other ones, but I had a good time with it. I like Alicia Cuthbert a lot. I think I mentioned this in the last episode, didn't I?
I didn't want to interrupt you, but I think you did. Yeah,
I did. Yeah, I definitely did.
You'd mentioned that you didn't even realize that it was Alicia Cuthbert.
Yes. Like, okay. I just clued in that I already talked about this. All right. Well, we'll skip that. I watched another Shudder movie called The Bunker Game. I do not recommend that movie at all. It was not good. It was not what I expected it to be.
Okay.
Because I read like the synopsis, and it's basically like a bunch of LARPers in a bunker, like they uncover something. I thought it was going to be like LARPers, like swords and shields and stuff, but it wasn't. It was like they were reenacting like World War II, like Nazi stuff.
Okay.
And I don't know, it wasn't scary. made zero sense and just it was boring as hell. So I'd pass on that one.
Good to know.
Yes. Unless you just watched it, even though I told you not to.
No, I didn't. I stayed away from it.
And lastly, I watched a movie that I picked up from Raven Banner, who's a Canadian. I don't know if they're a distributor. I think they make their own movies too.
Yeah, I think they're like kind of all around, like production company, distribution company, like kind of everything.
So I watched a movie called Spare Parts. This movie is wild as hell. I don't think as wild as the one that you watched, but like just for like nonsense and like I had a good time with it. There were some really cool kills in it. It was a good time. I think you would like it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just so our listeners get an idea of the type of movies that Raven Banner does. They're the company that did Psycho Gore Man.
Yes.
So a lot of their movies are over the top, like gore and just fucking batshit crazy stuff. But
yeah,
every one of their movies that I've watched so far has been a great time.
Yeah.
All right. As for me, I watched X finally.
Nice.
Loved it.
You loved it?
Loved it.
Okay.
It started off a little slow, and I was probably about like a quarter, maybe a third of the way through, and I was just like, am I going to be like the only person that doesn't really like this movie? But then it really picked up, and I really enjoyed the rest of it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like get into like spoiler talk or anything like that, but I don't know about you, but I kind of felt for the antagonist.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
definitely. Next up, I also watched The Cellar.
Nice.
And I also enjoyed it quite a bit.
Okay. Did that jump scare get you?
Which one?
At the end, whenever she's hiding from the thing when it comes out of the cellar.
Not really.
Oh man, that scared the fuck out of me.
Really?
Like whenever it like walks by and then she like pops up and it just fucking standing there. I was like, oh
shit. I guess it did. Yeah, a little bit. I like that they showed it though. Because
I didn't expect them to show it. That's why it kind of caught me off guard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. I'm going through another franchise watch. But it's not horror.
Okay.
I'm going through all the Harry Potter movies.
Oh yeah, you did mention that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had COVID as well. I mentioned in our last episode that my wife tested positive and then I tested positive the next day. So in a 2-day period, I watched the first 3 Harry Potter movies.
Okay. It's not so bad.
7.5 hours worth of Harry Potter in 2 days.
That's true. Did Sarah watch it with you?
No, she had a bath the one night. She came in, she's like, why are you watching this? So why the fuck not? Like, it's Harry Potter. She's like, yeah, but like, why? She doesn't do movies like we do. Like, if she's watched a movie once, she's good for the rest of her life, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I don't know. I was like, well, come in and sit and watch it with me. She's like, no, I'm good. And she went to bed. All right,
fair enough.
Suit yourself, because you're missing out on greatness.
Yeah.
But no, I was watching like trailers and shit like that for Hogwarts Legacy, and it really got me wanting to rewatch all the movies.
Okay.
So yeah. I watched an 80s slasher movie that Slashing Captain recommended on one of his videos, I think, a while back, called Madman.
Okay.
Great fun. I definitely recommend watching it.
Okay.
And lastly, my Raven Banner movie that I watched today is called For the Sake of Vicious.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, this movie is fucking off the walls with gore and blood and killing and fucking violence, like from pretty much start to finish, man. And it all takes place in a house, and it's just fucking chaos the whole time.
So it's vicious.
It's very vicious. Oh man, just like some of the kills, I was like squirming. I was like, oh my god, like Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah.
It's kind of funny, like you found and watched this movie so quick. Oh, we went for a walk on Sunday and I got back and we were just chilling. I was like, I'm gonna throw on spare parts because like I bought it like 2 weeks ago, I haven't watched it.
Yeah.
And then it's a Blu-ray. So like usually I skip the previews, but it's like newer movies and horror movies. And this one popped up for the sake of vicious. And I was like, dude, this movie looked fucking sick. So I messaged you, was like, hey, check out the trailer for this movie. And then you're like, wow, that looked sick. And then you're like, you looked on, I think, Amazon Prime, and you need to get a certain subscription. And you're like, well, it looks like I'm getting it for a week. And then like this morning you text me, bro, that movie.
The trailer had me hooked, man. And like the trailer makes it look like it's so much more low budget than what I think it actually was. Like, okay. I think it was still pretty low budget, but I was expecting like acting like in Straight Edge Kegger, where like nobody knew how to act. Yeah. But it was good. Like the production value was actually very good, even if it was low budget. And the actors were all really good.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely looking forward to potentially doing this movie on the podcast in the future.
Oh yeah, we definitely will, because I want to watch it, and I kind of want to save my reaction for when we record.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got for this week. I've been kind of doing like a soft rewatch of The Office, because our friend Dennis, who is also a listener / watcher, we finally convinced him to watch The Office because he always just kind of boycotted it.
Yeah.
So he's going through it, and I was like, fuck, like every time he brings up an episode, I'm like, oh my God, now I want to watch this episode. I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to like rewatch all of it. So yeah, I've kind of been doing that as well. Just like an episode or two every night sort of thing.
Nice. I know that you mentioned on chat that you watched the first episode of Severance.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you got any further than the first episode?
No.
Okay.
Not yet. But I will be watching it. It was a very good first episode.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, guess we'll hop into this movie.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Like we said in the intro this week, we're talking about 2006's Hatchet. This is a follow-up to our See No Evil episode. And at the end of this, we're going to be doing the whole villain face-off spiel and see who comes out on top. Before we talk about it, what are you drinking tonight, Brooke?
I am drinking a Bose Wag the Wolf.
Ooh.
White IPA.
A white IPA?
It's like a fancy name for a blonde, maybe.
Oh, maybe.
That's very good.
Very good. I thought you spilt it, and then I realized that you're putting it into a glass. I am drinking a Dominion City Two Flags IPA.
Nice.
And it's a strong beer, 7%.
Strong beer.
I hope it doesn't knock me on my ass. It's not that strong. It's actually really good.
Nice.
All right. Maybe not. I thought I had a burp. All right, starting off the synopsis. When a group of tourists in a New Orleans haunted swamp tour find themselves stranded in the wilderness, their evening of fun and spooks turns into a horrific nightmare.
Yep.
This movie was directed by Adam Green, who did Hatchet 2, Victor Crowley, Frozen, not the Disney Frozen, but the trapped in a ski fucking thing.
Yeah.
What is that called? Ski Lift.
Ski Lift?
Yeah. That movie. And Digging Up the Marrow, which is a documentary that sounds kind of interesting. Seemed like it was kind of like a making of like horror monsters kind of documentary.
Okay.
But yeah.
For some reason, Adam Green's name sounded like way more familiar to me. Like for some reason, I thought he had way more movies that I've watched and known. Unless I have him mixed with like a different like Adam director or Green director.
You're thinking of Tom Green.
No. Yeah, I looked at his IMDb and I was like, why did it seem like he did so much more? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, because he didn't really have much.
No.
I know he wrote a lot of his stuff too. But yeah. Moving on to the cast list. Pretty like, I don't want to say star-studded cast, but like not a bad cast.
I would say probably a lot of like, I want to say B movie or B star, but probably more like C star.
You think that low?
Like I would say like in the early 2000s, like the top of C, maybe like low B.
I guess in the early 2000s, yeah. Because like Joel David Moore, so he plays Ben, but like he's in Grandma's Boy, Avatar, Dodgeball. Like he's in the next 25 avatars that are coming out.
Yeah. I just feel like these were his only mainstream movies that I like recently.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not saying like that they're all A-listers, but
no,
they're definitely faces that you've seen before.
Yeah.
But yeah, next up is Tamara Feldman. That's what she went by in this movie, but her name now is Amara Zaragoza. She played Mary Beth. She was in Gossip Girl, Walker, and Perfect Stranger. Next, I have Dion Richmond, who played Marcus. I personally remember most from Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I loved him in that movie.
Playing the token black guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was also in The Cosby Show, which I didn't know. I don't remember him from that. Scream 3, Getting By, and Van Wilder as well.
He was in Van Wilder?
Yeah, I think he was like a lower, like one of Van Wilder's like party buddies kind of thing.
Okay. Hey, can you hear the TV?
Like very, very faintly. Like if you wouldn't have pointed it out, I wouldn't have noticed it.
Okay, I just didn't want it to get picked up on the recording.
Oh, you're good.
All right.
And lastly, on the cast list, I have the one and only Kane Hodder, who plays Victor Crowley and Mr. Crowley.
Yes.
I didn't go through his movies just because like he's Kane Hodder. Everybody in the horror community knows who he is. He really shot to fame with his portrayal of Jason Voorhees in, I think there was like fucking 5 or 6 Friday the 13th that he plays him in.
Yeah.
But yeah, he started off as like a stunt guy. Then he moved into more of the acting roles with these horror characters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love him.
Yeah, me too.
And then obviously I have honorable mentions. I'm assuming you do as well.
Yep. I have 2.5.
Okay.
But they're not the ones that you're gonna say. So,
okay, cool.
Let's let you go ahead with yours.
Okay, I have 4, but I'll do my 2, and then you can do your 2, and then sure. We'll see. Tony Todd is in this for a very brief period of time. I can't remember what his name was in the movie though.
He played Mr. Zombie.
Yeah, right. Reverend Zombie.
Yeah.
And he comes back in at least one more of them, maybe 2 more. And then we have Robert Englund, who also is a small cameo at the very beginning. He played Pa.
Yeah.
And yeah, see who you got.
So my 2.5. My one is Perry Shen,
Okay.
who plays, I think, Sean.
Yeah.
He isn't really like recognizable, like his like face, but I looked at his IMDb and he's done like a ton of voice work.
Yeah.
On like video games, TV shows, all that. Next one I have is John Karl Bueller or Bueller. I don't know if I'm saying that right. He played Jack Cracker.
Oh,
who was the guy in the canoe that drinks his own piss.
Yeah.
He's actually a famous special effects guy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then lastly, the actor that plays young Victor Crowley is actually a female.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do we know her?
No. Oh. So I guess I didn't IMDb after, but apparently in the trivia that they wanted to get a model to kind of test out the makeup.
Okay.
But they had the makeup like on her face and like contoured to her face, and it was like pretty much stuck there. So she just played the role.
Oh, cool.
So she actually played like a beautiful girl.
Huh.
Kind of interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Going back to Perry Shen, he actually is in all 4 of the Hatchet movies.
Yeah, I kind of want to watch these now.
You should.
Because apparently I read in the trivia that like if you don't watch any of the credits, like the opening or the after credits, the first like 3 movies, I think, are all like one continuous movie.
Yeah. Yeah, they all just like kind of flow into each other. But Perry Shen, he plays a different character in all 4 of the movies.
Okay, that's funny. I wonder if he's like good friends with Adam Green or something.
He could be. Yeah, I don't know. I also had Richard Riley, I think is how you pronounce his last name. He was the old guy that was with them, like the big burly mustache.
Yeah, I recognize him from, I think, Deuce Bigelow. Yeah.
He played Deuce's dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's a well-known actor. And yeah,
Adam Green makes an appearance too.
Does he?
Yeah, he plays one of the friends at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the smart ones that stayed at Mardi Gras.
I guess so, yeah.
All right, man. You ready to talk about this movie?
Yes, sir. So as with See No Evil, which was produced by WW Films, this movie was made by Anchor Bay, which I did some little research on. They actually specialized in horror in the late 1990s and early 2000s.
Yeah. So
like they released, the first DVD was The Car. They released Elvira, Mistress of the Night.
Okay.
Dawn of the Dead remake, the Prom Night remake. They also released all of the Halloween movies as well. So like they were like huge in horror, but then they ended up getting like bought out by a bunch of people in like 2017.
Do you know who bought them out? I remember seeing that production
There's like
company.
a bunch of different ones. There's like I had it up here. It's like Disney. There was
really?
The Weinstein Company. There was a bunch.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find. There it is. Did you see the one tagline for this on IMDb?
Maybe. What was it?
It's not a remake, it's not a sequel, and it's not based on a Japanese one. Which I thought was fucking hilarious.
That's funny.
Because this was the day and age where like every Japanese horror movie was being remade in America.
Yeah. I mean, my next little spiel I'm going on is kind of not bashing this movie, but there's something that I have like very wrong with this movie.
It's a definite ripoff of another movie.
A few movies, definitely. So like on my DVD, like the film tag is like old school American horror.
Yeah.
Which I think is a nod to exactly that. Watching this movie like through a critic's eye, I was actually quite annoyed with this movie quite a bit.
Yeah.
Like I still had a good time with it for the most part, but there was some stuff that annoyed the hell out of me. And I assume that you had the same issue as well.
I do, but I really enjoy this movie.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
so do I. Like the last time I watched this, we actually watched it on Halloween night, like 2 years ago, I think.
yeah.
And like I like this movie, but watching it now, it's
Uh-huh.
like there's a few things that annoyed me, like having two horror legends make an appearance within 5 minutes of each other.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like was kind of like, I don't know if lazy is the word, but they're just preaching to the choir, I think, a bit too much.
Okay.
And then to have on top of that Kane Hodder, who I
Yeah.
think is amazing, but to have him play Victor and
his
also
father.
Mr. Crowley, like I have three horror legends in this. I don't know. Like I said, I might get heat for that, but that's just honestly how I felt.
Mm-hmm.
And then the ending annoyed the shit of me as well.
Oh yeah.
We'll save that for later.
Yeah. 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 That ending.
Yeah.
When it happened this time, I was like, oh, that's almost distasteful.
Yeah. Like I know that a few people will take that to heart, especially someone, but
whatever.
I mean, honestly, like they just tried too much to, I don't know if they're trying to appease fans or what.
Mm-hmm. It's like they tried to make their own movie, but they couldn't stay away from the typical horror tropes or like following the direction that other popular horror movies went.
Yeah. And like one movie that I think it totally stole from, like not the one you're thinking of, but whenever it was explaining Victor Crowley's, like what happened to him,
mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, this is The Burning.
Yeah.
Same shit, pretty much. It just changed a little bit.
But then The Burning and Friday the 13th are the same
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, it happens, right? The part that grinds my gears the most is the ending. Like I can set aside all the shit throughout the movie, but it was the ending where I was like, God damn, like that's not even original in the least bit.
No. And then we're already fucking talking about it. So this podcast is off the rails already. But I was watching it, and then the end scene when he comes out of the fucking water, or no, he's in the boat, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes to the black screen. I was like, wait, what happened? Did my movie stop?
I thought the same thing.
And then the movie credits rolled, and I was like, I was pissed off. I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. Because I was watching it on Tubi. So Tubi has commercials, right? So it went to the black screen. I'm like, what the fuck? There's a commercial like in the last like 3 minutes of this. I'm like, that's stupid. And then the credits started rolling. I was like, oh yeah, this movie ends on like such an abrupt note.
Yeah.
But it does follow into the second movie.
Yes. But still, I don't think I can give it that pass.
Okay.
I don't know. Like, does it do it well going into like the other movies?
I think so, yeah, from what I remember.
Okay. May have to rewatch it.
I mean, they do change like the characters and shit, but yeah. Like Mary Beth is played by Danielle Harris, I think, in the second one, or maybe she comes in the third one.
Huh. Anyway, that's our little rant so far. But yeah, this movie like is filled with it's very bloody and like over the top kills,
mm-hmm.
which I think is awesome. Like I read in the trivia that Adam Green had like a CGI ban in the movie or something like that. Like
good.
He couldn't have any CGI, didn't allow it apart from like CGI to get rid of like wires and stuff like that.
See, and that's one thing that I wanted to bring up. This movie and See No Evil both came out in 2006.
Yeah.
and look at the difference between them. One was like a super, super high budget. It was funded by WWE. The other one was super low budget, and it was all practical effects, and like they did everything themselves, and it looked fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Whereas See No Evil, which is the high production valued movie from 2006, it looks like shit now. Like Hatchet still holds up for the gore factor and like the 100%. Effects.
Yeah. I mean, not to be a negative Nancy here, but there was one thing that kind of annoyed me with the gore kills is that they totally reused a lot of the stuff for the same kills.
Okay. Like, what do you mean?
Like, at the beginning, whenever he kills Robert Englund and Dad, it's Ainsley and Pa.
Yeah.
And he throws the corpses, and you see like blood and like a heart like splatter on the tree.
Yeah.
And then later on, when someone else gets killed, it's the exact same shot of just like blood getting thrown at trees or bushes or something.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah. So that kind of like, I don't know, annoyed me a little bit.
It's a low budget, man.
I know, but still,
give it a break.
I know. But I could like totally see like if this movie was made nowadays, I could totally see this being like a Kickstarter movie.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like Adam Green, like, I don't know if this is a passion project for him. It's like one of his first movies he made. But the shirt that Ben is wearing, it's a Newberry Comics.
Yeah.
And that's actually where Adam Green like bought all of his movies and comic books and toys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, at this
that's
toy
cool.
comic store.
Huh.
Yeah. So I think this guy is like a passion project for him. I think like it'd be interesting to see how he got this funded. Being like his first movie.
What did they have in 2006? What was like the crowdfunding back then?
I don't know. Ads in newspapers.
Oh shit.
What do you think of the theme song for this?
Marilyn Manson?
Yeah.
I fucking love that song.
Me too.
The New Shit is one of my favorite Marilyn Manson songs. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I think it went well with this movie very well.
It did. And the way that like, because the song itself kind of starts off I don't want to say slow, but like it's not like super hard rock until like maybe a minute or so into the song. But the way that it transitioned what was going on screen with the music and then into like the big breakdown in the song to the all the partiers for Mardi Gras, I thought they did that really well. Like they lined it up perfectly.
Yeah. That opening scene with Ainsley and Pa, I love that scene.
Yeah, it was good.
Like, I think they're like hunting illegally or something for like gators or something.
Yeah, they're trying to find a big 14-footer. I'd like to know where they're going to put it once they catch it, because that boat is not 14 feet long.
No. And they're like barely offshore as well. And is like trying to piss and he can't. And then Pa gets killed. They don't see him get killed, but you see like all the body parts like in the boat. And then Ainsley just gets like his spine ripped out from his back and then like tossed in a tree. And he's done for. I was gonna mention too, like, I don't think that there's enough movies filmed in New Orleans. But then I saw in trivia that this was one of the last like productions in New Orleans before the hurricane.
Okay.
Which that makes sense of why there's probably not too many more movies filmed here.
Yeah. Because the house is October built. Didn't they end up in New Orleans at the end?
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, that hurricane fucking ravaged the city. And
I feel like there could be a lot of cool things that you could do with New Orleans.
Oh, for sure.
Because you got like the whole voodoo thing, right?
Yeah. I would like that is on my bucket list of places to go.
Yeah, I would like to go there too, but I also heard it's like not the safest of places.
No, but
Yeah, it'd be cool.
I think it'd be amazing.
Mhm. Uh, so they meet Reverend Zombie. Do you think that is also a nod to a certain horror creator, or you think this movie is kind of out too early? Because when did Rob Zombie? When was like his first? Corpses came out in like 2005, didn't it?
I think so.
No, it was 2003.
3.
And then
I don't
Devil's
know.
Rejects in 2005.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a possibility.
Who do you think that Reverend Zombie? Oh, are you saying it's like an homage to Rob Zombie because of his
Yeah.
name?
Yeah.
I don't know. Because like zombies and voodooism, like they go kind of hand in hand.
Yeah, that's true.
So I don't know. Maybe.
Sorry, I'm just looking up something real quick. I'll see if anything pops up.
I love his character in this though. I thought he's really funny.
Who
Tony
Zombie?
Todd, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't do night tours anymore. Not after what happened last time.
So well, I just spoiled the second film for me.
Wow, man. You don't even need to
Okay, it
watch
doesn't
it
really
now.
nothing. This doesn't really say anything. So yeah, basically like the premise of the movie, like Ben and his friends, who you only meet Marcus really.
Yeah.
They bring Ben because he just got dumped by his girlfriend of 8 years. They're bringing him to New Orleans to party, throw some beads, see some titties. And he's just like depressed. Ben doesn't want to, and he's like, "Why we want to just sit here and get drunk?" Like, so he wants to go off do something by himself. And Marcus eventually goes with them. They are trying to find this swamp tour that he heard of.
Yeah.
But nobody. I guess it's like illegal to go in the swamp after dark, I think.
Yeah, I think there's like a certain part of the swamp that they're not allowed to go through.
Yeah. So they go to Reverend Zombie and he says, "No, I stopped doing tours after last year," because he like hints towards like something crazy happening.
Yeah.
And then Ben's like all about it. He's like, "Oh, tell me." And then it ends up just being something like, I forget what it was. It was something stupid though.
Guy like slip and fall and hit his head or something like that.
Yeah.
He's trying to sue him.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, they find Sean, who does a tour, and I love the running gag throughout the whole movie too. Sean charges them $40 each, and then like throughout the movie, Ben's like keeps finding out that other people paid $30.
Yeah.
And like he'll just like something will happen, and he'll just like throw like, "Well, I'm still trying to find out why he charged us $40." What do you think of the characters in this movie?
I hated most of them.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay. I liked Ben, even though he's a little bitch. And I like Marcus.
Uh-huh.
I liked Mary Beth sometimes. The two porn stars drove me fucking crazy.
I thought they were hilarious.
Oh my God. They were. Okay. I liked them whenever they were going back and forth at each other.
Yeah.
But like whenever the Shapiro, his name was, had the video camera up, that drove me crazy. Like they're just like, they were woo girls and it was really fucking annoying.
Yeah.
The old couple, they're just whatever. And I liked Sean.
Yeah, they didn't last very long.
No, Sean was funny.
I love that Sean kept going in between his like Chinese accent, even though
Chinese and Southern accent.
He's from like Detroit.
Yeah.
Oh man.
When he gets mad in like at the start whenever they're still in the boat and he like breaks his Louisiana accent.
Yeah.
And he just starts freaking out in his Asian accent. I thought that was so funny.
Yeah. I really liked all the dialogue in this movie for the most part. Like,
yeah.
Marcus was hilarious. Like some of the lines that he would say, I thought were funny.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean as well. Like when they're trying to get the boat started, and the Cracker Jack or Jack Cracker or whatever is in the boat, he's like, "Can't go in the swamp. Like it's closed." And they're like, "Oh, I think that guy's trying to say something." Sean's like, "Oh no, that's just crazy Jack Cracker. You know, he likes to drink his own piss." And then like they'll leave it. He's like, "Okay, wave bye to Jack Cracker." And they're all like waving. And then you see him fucking drink a bottle of piss. Oh,
yeah.
Fucking funny.
It's a very funny movie. Like the way that the script was written is fucking hilarious.
Yeah. There was some scenes with Marcus where it kind of felt like a Wayans Brothers movie.
Mm.
Like I think his character was kind of going for that.
Yeah.
Like when he was up in the tree, it was like, okay, this is just silly now.
Yeah.
But I liked the characters for the most part. Like I didn't hate anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they're like the perfect like horror movie characters.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they fit all the tropes.
Like Doug is like a slummy businessman who is like filming this softcore porn like on the boat, and the girls are like flashing their titties like whenever they want.
It was literally Girls Gone Wild.
Yeah. And then like they find out after he gets killed that his name's not actually Doug. It's like some other guy from Philadelphia who's like an accountant or something like that.
Yeah, he's not even a production guy.
Yeah. But so the kills in this movie are brutal as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Jim ends up getting bitten by an alligator, and they have to abandon ship because they hit a rock. And so basically the story is that Victor was a deformed child, and his dad, Mr. Crowley, kind of kept him in the house, and kids like made fun of him and stuff. And then some kids showed up, locked him in the house, and threw firecrackers at the house, caught it on fire. And Victor was trying to get out, but his dad came home and he tried breaking the door down with a hatchet. And he was on the other side of the door, and he hit the door and hit him in the face with a hatchet. And that's like the whole premise of his backstory, which
I'm laughing.
As I say it out loud, it's kind of silly.
Yeah. But it is sad, like at the same time.
I guess.
Like the guy killed his own son.
Well, killed, yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. It's like, it's super silly. Like
and then like Mr. Crowley died of heartbreak like 10 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna fucking sit here and cry about it, but like when you think about it, it's like, fuck, this guy killed his own son while he was trying to save him from their burning down house.
Yeah. What's the story that Sean tells them? Do you remember?
About Crowley?
Yeah, because remember they drive by his house, and then Sean is like, "Oh, that's the house of Victor Crowley." He like made up some story. Then Mary Beth is like, "No, that's like totally way off."
Yeah, I can't remember what it was that he says. Yeah. Shit.
And I love that like everyone is teaching Sean like the facts of New Orleans. Like whenever they're driving, and then the Shannon, who's like the old wife, is like, "Why do they have like the gravestones all like higher up?" And then like Sean is like in his like southern voice, he's like saying something like about the spirits, are like, I forget what he says, so with the spears or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, actually, I read on the internet that it's because the sea level or something, like if it floods, it will like make bodies underground rise up. He's like, no, that's definitely not it. And then we take him to the swamp area. He's like, all right, I'm gonna shut the lights off. And you look out there, let your eyes adjust. And ghosts will suddenly appear. And then they're like, oh, I don't see anything. And you see like this like light start up, and he's like, oh, over there. And they're like, and then someone's like, oh, I think I read about that. It's just like the vapors in the swamp. And he's like, no, it's definitely not it. It's a ghost.
Oh, look, there's two of them.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought he was funny.
Mm-hmm.
So the story is that if you get close to like his house, then you hear Victor calling for his dad.
Mm-hmm.
So they end up getting close to the house and hear like the dad or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like they're just like standing there, and we see like Victor like run out like crazy. And then he just like runs up to fucking Jim, starts hacking at him like across his like shoulder, gets like halfway down, and then does he like pull him apart and rip his head off?
No, because everyone starts to run, and then I think he stops chopping at him and goes after Shannon and takes her and like fucking rips her jaw wide open. Like
that was brutal.
Rips her head right back, and you can see her tongue like fucking flipping around and shit.
Yeah.
So gross.
Yeah, that was a brutal kill. So they're all like running away. They're kind of hiding. And then at one point, Doug, like he runs away, and then he's like in a bush, and he comes out and he drops his like little camera thing, which they find later has like a porno, a condom. They find like his 2 business cards. So Doug's kill is pretty cool too. Like Victor catches him, like grabs his head and just like twists it around, and like his neck gets like all like thicker
twisted,
and like fatter. It is really cool looking, and then just like rips his head off.
Yeah.
And I love that during each kill too, like when he like rips an appendage off, there's like blood that like sprays out, like mists out.
Yeah. Which is like definitely an homage to like classic slashers from like the 80s and 70s. Like they had like those blood mists that came out.
Yeah. So yeah, the rest of them that are left, they're kind of trying to find their way out of here, but they keep like looping back to the shed. The next kill that happens, I don't know how Victor got this, or if it's like gas powered, but he just comes up to Jenna with like a fucking grinder, like a sand grinder, a belt grinder.
I think it was a belt sander. Yeah.
And
this kill's fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, I just said, I was like, fuck, that's a dentist trip I don't want to take. Jesus. He just grinds the fuck out of her mouth.
Yeah.
And then she's like still alive, which is brutal. He ends up grabbing Sean, grabbing like a shovel and like swings it and like knocks his leg off. I don't know how. And then like Sean falls, and then he like puts the shovel like on his neck and stomps down.
Yeah.
And his head goes falling off. And then he picks up Jenna and like impales her on the fucking handle of the shovel and like pushes her down. It's fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, the way that he's pushing her down, like he's exerting a lot of effort like into getting her down there. It's
fucking brutal, man.
Meanwhile, she's missing her bottom jaw.
Oh man, it looks so bad when she's like looking around and fucking brutal.
I love how we're sitting here talking about like women getting their fucking heads like peeled back and their lower jaws getting sanded off by a belt grinder, and we're just laughing about it.
Yeah.
We're sick fucks.
Yeah, we are. So now their plan is that Ben thinks that he saw, gas canisters in the shed.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a pitchfork. He ended up like stabbing Victor,
Mm-hmm.
who like went down. So Ben is like, well, like we can't keep running away. Let's fight back. So
yeah, we know that we can hurt him.
Yeah. So he comes with the idea that they're going to try and burn him. So they go back to the shed. And so their jobs are basically Ben is looking for the gas in the shed.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus and Mary Beth are outside with a gun and a shovel or something. And I don't know what the fuck Misty's doing, but she's just standing around. Ben's in the shed, and all of a sudden you see like he finds a gas canister that has gas in it.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like he sees like an arm or something get thrown at him. Then like a torso
with no limbs.
And then like Misty's head, and turns around and like I guess Victor didn't see him in there. And then they like get in a fight. They end up stabbing Victor in the back of the head and then pouring gas on him.
Yeah.
Light him on fire. And then this is another thing that I have an issue with in this movie. It always rains at the worst fucking time.
Yeah.
It's like,
they had to keep him alive somehow.
I know, but like their boat stops, starts raining. This part, it starts raining. There's another part of it as well. It starts raining. It's like, come on.
You can't control the Louisiana weather.
I guess not.
But yeah, so he's on fire, but because of the rain, it puts him out.
Yeah. So now they're all running away. They find like a graveyard. And throughout this graveyard, I guess there's like a couple tombstones that have some names on it.
Okay.
And it's actually the two executive producers of the movie.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Would you want to do that?
Have your name on a tombstone?
Yeah. That just seems like a bad omen.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair point.
I don't know if I'd like that. That's a nice colored beer, by the way.
Thank you.
It looks like I don't know.
A white IPA.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now they're running away from Victor. They are trying to find like a pathway through the graveyard, but the other gate is locked. And Victor comes like rolling in. For some reason, they're all like hiding behind a gravestone, just like talking, like not even worried that he's there. Then all of a sudden, like Marcus gets like grabbed, and it's like this like just seemed like a very silly kill to me.
Mm-hmm.
He gets grabbed, he gets his arms torn off, he's still alive, and then he gets like picked up and like thrown against a tombstone and just like explodes.
Yeah. With all the creativity throughout this movie, and then like that's the way that they kill off one of the main characters, it was kind of left you wanting more. Yeah.
I mean, how can you outdo like a belt grinder and a fucking jaw pull? Like I don't know how you can outdo those two, to be honest.
Maybe not outdo them, but put them on par.
Yeah.
Like fair. Fucking rip a tombstone out of the ground and like throw it at him or something.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, Marcus is torn apart. They're running away, and then you see Victor grab like kind of the bar in the fence, and Ben and Mary Beth are running away, and they get to like the water line. Then all of a sudden, Ben gets the spike thrown into his foot, and then Mary Beth or Victor's running at them, and Mary Beth comes up with the idea to like push the spike like towards him.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, this part kind of pissed me off. I guess it's just like the character of Victor. Like he's not that smart.
He's a dumbass.
Yeah. So like he's pushing it and it's like tearing fucking Ben's like foot apart.
Mm-hmm.
And then like Victor like runs into it and you think he's like dead.
Yeah.
And then like Ben like rips his foot out and like I guess I don't know. That's gonna fucking hurt.
When you see his foot later on, it's like, holy fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. So they get into the boat of her dad and brother. And like they're not even really like paddling away.
No.
They're just like sitting in the water, like.
But that's what happens in Friday the 13th too, right? Like she's just laying there in the fucking middle of the lake.
Yeah. And so she gets pulled into the water. Or does she fall in the water?
No, Victor pulls her in.
Victor pulls her in, yeah. And then Ben is like reaching down there. And then you don't see anything in the water. She's just like struggling.
Mm-hmm.
And then she comes out and Victor is holding Ben's arm. And you see Ben like laying in the boat with like no arm and like no leg or something like that. Like he's alive, but pretty much dead. And then does he pull her up and then it just ends?
He pulls her up and they're like kind of staring at each other like she's screaming her face off and then the screen goes black.
Yeah. Yeah. So that ending pissed me off because it's like they couldn't make a movie villain any more like Jason Voorhees.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You literally got the same actor to play him.
That's true. I bring that up in my reviews, right? Like we have a deformed boy who's getting bullied, who ends up dying a tragic death at the hands of his bullies.
Yeah.
Whereas Jason, not so much at the hands of his bullies, he drowns, but like it's due to negligence.
Yeah.
Who then comes back from the dead and kills everybody who comes to his dwelling area. So it's like the lake versus the cabin. Yeah. And then the ending is literally the exact same as the ending of Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Yeah. And like this movie was not scary or like suspenseful in any way.
No, it was more of like a horror comedy for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I gotta feel like they knew what they were doing. They knew that they were ripping off Friday the 13th.
Oh, they had to have.
Like, how do you make this movie and not know?
Yeah.
So whether they wanted to do like almost like a parody movie of Friday the 13th that actually ended up getting like a huge cult following and it spawned 3 sequels afterwards. And now Victor Crowley is like a household name in horror. I don't know if they expected to get the fame that they got from it, or if they were just kind of going out there to make like a one-off parody of Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
I could see that, and then I could also see maybe he wanted to like introduce like new horror fans, maybe like the younger generation who like maybe don't like or have access to those older movies.
Yeah.
Because like some people just can't watch like older movies, you know? So maybe he just wanted to introduce people to horror movie.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a blatant ripoff of Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It's fun as fuck.
It is, yeah. Like I have a good time with this movie. Like I remember when I watched it like 2 years ago, like I didn't have any of these issues with it. But now like watching it again is like
now you're a movie snob.
Exactly. Anything else you wanted to talk about or mention?
No, I think we covered everything.
All right, cool.
Well, come on.
Oh shit, I almost forgot. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
That's the way the Friday the 13th blood splatters.
Oh. Very nice. Okay. I need to hear your reviews on this movie.
Okay. So for my story, I give it a 2 out of 10. I said we've talked a lot about this story, so I don't have much new to say. There's nothing original about this story at all. They just picked and slightly changed from other horror movies from the 70s and 80s. I thought the writing is okay. I did like some of the dialogue. It was funny and cheesy. I thought the characters were all likable, but then again, I didn't care if they died.
Okay.
Like I liked them, but like if they died, I really didn't give a shit.
If they die, they die.
Yeah, exactly. And quality, I gave a 6 out of 10.
Nice.
I said it was a great looking movie with amazing special effects. The acting was not that great. I thought the score was awesome as well.
Cool.
So 2 out of 10 and 6 out of 10.
All right. My story, I gave it a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
I said another movie with a not so great plot line, but it's a really fun movie, and it also brought a new face to horror. I enjoyed Victor's backstory, and it's tragic, and it is tragic in a way that like it makes you feel sorry for him in a sense. Like just same with Jason, right? Like you felt sorry for him as a kid, and you kind of understand why he grew up to be the fucking maniacal serial killer that he turned out to be. And so we've obviously seen the deformed boy getting bullied story before, but the way he dies is what makes it a little bit more original. The present time story is basically as fuck, with a group of people getting stuck in a swamp and one character out there for her own reasons. It happens all the time. A lot of the movie does act as a Friday the 13th ripoff, including the ending. But I do really like multiple aspects of the movie. My quality, I gave it a 5 out of 10. I said for a low budget movie, a lot of the effects and gore looked great. Just further proof that you don't need a shit ton of money in CGI to make a good looking horror movie. The swamp setting was refreshing for a location and gave ample opportunity for random Victor jump scares. The acting was okay at best. There were only 2 characters that I didn't feel like slamming in the forehead with a hatchet. The score was effective, and the soundtrack was yet another mid-2000s new metal playlist, and I found the script to be extremely entertaining.
Very nice.
So scores weren't too far off.
No.
All right, you guys know our scores. Let's head on over to Rotten Tomatoes and see what they scored it. The critics' consensus: the over-the-top gore, campy acting, and dim cinematography may be part of Hatchet's self-described old-school ethos, but irony alone can't sustain a horror film. So what do you think the critics scored it? It's a tough one.
It is. It really is. Fuck. I'll say 56%.
Oh, you are so fucking close. 55%.
Damn it. I was going to say.
On 49 reviews and an average score of 5.5 out of 10.
All right.
The audience score, 45%.
Really?
On 10,000 ratings and an average score of 3 out of 5 or 6 out of 10.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was surprised to see it lower, to be honest.
Me too. Huh.
What's the letterbox giving us?
Letterbox has a 2.9 out of 5. I give it a 2.5. You gave it a 3 out of 5. Screaming Cinema gave it a 3.5. Slashing Captain, Kevin, gave it a 4.5.
I was going to say a 5 as a joke, but okay.
Yeah. Anthony from Porcelain Peak, who also goes by Here Be Monster, which I've never mentioned on here. So I'll go check out our buddy Anthony. He gave it a 4 out of 5. And Josh has it listed as watch, but he didn't rate it. So I had said probably a 5, to be honest.
Josh would give it a 5, yeah. 4.5 to a 5.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he fucking stands this movie.
Yeah, we're going to hear it once he listens to this episode. Definitely.
All right, cool. You ready for the scare section?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
All right. What did you give it for a scare rating?
So Scarina gave it a 4 out of 10.
Nice.
As just based on the gore and the kills alone. It wasn't suspenseful. Like I think they tried a little bit. Like whenever Doug falls in the water and he's swimming from the alligator, it's like what was that? Yeah, the kills were brutal as hell. Scariest scene. I said the grinder kill.
Yeah.
Just because it was so brutal. Especially because she was still alive, like after, like
yeah.
I don't even think you would be in any pain. It would just be shock. So, yeah. And would I survive? There's no chance in hell.
All right.
No chance.
No chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
My scare rating, I also gave it a 4 out of 10.
Okay.
I said Victor is another very menacing killer with a huge stature and an ass ugly face, not to mention his brutal ways of killing people.
Yeah.
Scary scene, I said the end scene where Victor uses Ben's arm to pull up Mary Beth. Like this is based off like the first time I watched it because that scene really took me by surprise. I was not expecting it at all.
Okay.
Because like she gets pulled up and it's fucking Victor's face right there. Would I survive? I said, yup, because there ain't no way I'm leaving Mardi Gras to go play in a swamp.
Nice.
Tossing beads everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, man. It's that time. Time for us to see who comes out victorious in this face-off.
Yes.
I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
All right. If you're a first-time listener, this is our Loomis villain evaluation where we take 7 categories, 6, and rate them out of 30 for each character. Then we average up our scores and see who comes out victorious. So, Brooke, do you want to go first?
Yes, sir. All right. So for strength, I gave a 28 out of 30.
Okay.
I said, dude is basically a ghost. He's indestructible and can tear people apart with his bare hands. That is another point I wanted to bring up. Like I already said, this dude is basically Jason Voorhees. He basically can't die.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. Dexterity gave a 16 out of 30.
Okay.
I said Victor is fast as fuck for being that big. He pops out of nowhere. Like the one scene before Jenna dies, when they're like the raccoon in the bush, and all of a sudden Victor just pops out behind them and grabs Jenna. Guy's sneaky.
He is sneaky.
Constitution, I gave an 18 out of 30.
Okay.
He doesn't slow down at all. The guy never gasses. Intelligence, I gave a 4 out of 30.
Okay.
I said, dude is not smart at all. All he knows is killing. He just runs into the spike at the end of the movie. The guy is not smart at all.
No, he's not.
Wisdom, I gave a 12 out of 30. Okay. I said he knows the Louisiana swamp like the back of his hand. And charisma, I gave a 4 out of 30. I said, apart from his yelling, he has no personality whatsoever.
I'm just picturing like meeting this guy in like a formal setting.
Yeah. You know, these are going on YouTube now, right?
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Okay, next time you have to do a sloth impression.
Hey, you guys. Oh, fuck.
Oh my god.
All right. My strength, I also gave a 28.
Okay.
Said he rips people's limbs off. He is supernatural. He survives gunshots and he survives being impaled. But he can still be injured and taken down. So that's why I didn't give him a full 30.
Okay.
Dexterity, I gave him an 18.
Mhm.
Much like Jacob, he's a big ass man and can run around that swamp like nobody's business. Excuse me. Constitution and endurance, I gave him a 22. We don't really see him slow down from exertion, but he is pretty lumbersome with his movements.
Mhm.
Intelligence, I gave him a 1.
Okay. Yeah.
I said I thought Jacob was dumb, and I think even he would know enough to keep his head away from a door whenever someone's trying to break through with a hatchet. Wisdom, I gave him a 6. I said he knows his way around the swamp and how to get to the people he's trying to kill, but that's about the extent of it. Charisma, I gave him a 1.
Okay.
And I just said LOL, but in capital letters this time.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because, I mean, yeah, he's ugly as fuck. He doesn't speak. He's got 0 personality.
Yeah, that's true.
This is tight. Yeah. Okay.
Do we at least have a winner?
No.
Oh shit.
All right. So for strength, we averaged Jacob with a 23.5 and Victor with a 28. So Crowley wins that one.
Okay.
Dexterity, Jacob with an 18, Crowley with a 17. So Jacob wins that one. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to just put a little marker. For Constitution, Jacob had a 16.5, Victor had a 20. So Victor wins that one. Intelligence, Jacob had a 14.5, Victor had a 2.5. So Jacob wins that one. Wisdom, Jacob had an 18 and Victor had a 9. So Jacob wins that one. Charisma, Jacob had a 1.5 and Victor had a 2.5. So Victor wins that one. Oh, we do have a winner. No, we don't. I fucked up. Yeah, no, we're a tie. 3 and 3.
Okay.
So we're going to Instagram, I guess.
Yeah.
We did tell Josh that this was going to be a tight matchup.
We did.
I blame you for giving Victor a 4 for his charisma.
Okay, maybe it's a bit too much. I mean, I don't know why I gave it 4, but
whatever, man. That's what you gave it. Can't go back now.
okay.
Right.
Since we have a tie, let's just talk this out a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
If these two met on neutral soil, so not in a hotel, not in the swamp, who do you think would win in a fight?
Victor, because he can't die.
But can Jacob?
He's not like an entity or anything, though.
But what makes him not seem like an entity?
Well, he's not dead. He's just like.
I mean, he ever met a guy that's alive that has maggots in his skull?
That's fair. That is fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do agree with you. Like,
I think they're going to be like trading blows for a very long time.
yeah, like this match is going 5 rounds.
Yeah.
It's going the full, decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming down to the end. And it might even be a split decision, just like this was.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to see what Instagram thinks.
Mm-hmm. With neutral ground, without Victor having his swamp and without Jacob having his hotel, I think it changes a lot. Because Jacob's intelligence and wisdom came from his ability to rig up that hotel.
Yeah.
Whereas Victor, he has the swamp to his advantage, where he has like a shit ton of hiding spots and like he knows where he can pop up and whatnot. But he's also limited to that area around his cabin, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to see Victor Crowley in the middle of like fucking Manhattan. Or no. I don't know, Jason shows up in Manhattan, so who knows? But
yeah.
But yeah, I think we have to go to Instagram.
We do. Yeah.
Fuck.
Well, this is our first tie.
Is it?
I think so.
Shit, eh? Interesting.
We'll have to check the records, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. It's very interesting, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, man. Well,
that's it.
That's it. All right. We're going back to a themed month.
Yeah.
Our regular episodes didn't last very long.
Nope.
But yeah, we're both big fans of the Jurassic Park franchise.
Yeah.
And the newest one is coming out in June. So we are going to dedicate all of May to prehistoric creatures in horror.
Yes.
Do we want to go ahead and just say what all the movies are going to be? Or
have we decided all of them? Because I know we changed one at like the last minute, but I don't think we decided.
Okay. No, you're right. We have 3 out of the 4, like for sure.
Yeah.
But all right. So we'll just say next week's episode. It's another horror comedy, another low budget. But we have to fucking do it. So yeah, next week we are going to be talking about Velocipastor.
Yeah. And you haven't seen it yet, right?
No, actually I haven't.
Okay.
But I know enough about it, and I've watched the trailer for it, and I've listened to multiple podcast episodes on it.
Oh, really? Okay.
And
so you're prepped.
Oh yeah, I'm so stoked to do this movie.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, if our listeners haven't watched it, highly recommend checking it out because it's going to be batshit crazy and off the walls, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think that's it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, if you guys want to catch us on social media, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube at Podcast on Elm Street. If you click the link in our bio on Instagram, you'll find links to our TeePublic account where we have our merch. There's also a link to our Patreon account where if you wish to support the podcast that way. There's also links to each of our individual Letterboxd accounts, our Discord server, and anywhere that you can listen to us.
Yes, sir.
And the YouTube link is in there as well. All right.
That's it.
That's it.
All right. We'll talk to you next week, guys.
See you later.